What's going on, everybody? So today I'm going to be doing another install. This one's going to be a little bit more of like fun, like non-functional install. Something I've done on my previous cars before, and that's just going to be some interior lighting just for the footwell. So let's go ahead and get to installing this kit. First, I'm just going to cover everything this kit comes with. Pretty comprehensive one. It comes with everything that you're going to need for the install. And so we're just gonna need that covered now. So if you do opt to get the same kit I did here, which is the Op7 Aura kit, this is everything that's gonna be included. This is the kit that is going to come with a remote instead of Bluetooth through your phone. I opted for that because I don't really like messing with the apps, and I'd rather just have a controller in the car to control the lighting. And in this box over here, that is actually going to be our controller, which just looks like this here. And then we're gonna have these two other boxes here. The bottom one here is going to include all of the LEDs as well as the add-on fuses for the car. And you can also do the cigarette outlet if you decide to do that. However, I'm going to be doing a hardwire by receiving power through the fuse. And then it comes with the controller box and all of the connectors that will go to the light kit. And the light kit is going to include all of the extensions, the brackets, and basically all the wiring and zip ties that we're going to need to install the light kit. For this install, you are going to want to find a switched power fuse to tap into. One common one that's pretty easy to find in the Z that's going to be on the interior of the car, which is also important because it's going to be easier to get to, is going to be the cigar lighter that you can see on this panel here. As you can see, it's just that 15 amp fuse here. And another fuse that's easy for some other cars, I know it was the one that was easy for my WRX, is that the radio fuse is actually in the footwell of the driver's side compartment. So look for a fuse there that does get switched power. You can always look it up too, and that'll be the one that you're going to want to tap into. And so I'm going to show you how to do it on the Z, but it'll translate pretty easily to other cars as well. And we're just going to get that covered now. And if we just go into the driver's side footwell here, we can see that our fuse panel is up there, and we're just going to be using the 15 amp cigar lighter fuse, and I'm going to show you what it looks like once we have the add-on fuse installed. So I've got everything laid out here. Here's the fuse that I pulled out of the fuse box that I'm going to be tapping into today. It looks like it's one of the shallow ones, so we are going to be going with this pigtail here. It looks like the power from this pigtail is just going to go into the connector on this extension wire here that has power for the control box. So I'm just going to be plugging these two together before I go into the car and plug that in. And then it looks like there is a spade terminal off this side here. This is going to be the negative that we're going to need to ground to the car for the lights. So we are just going to choose an unpainted screw to tap that into, and it should work no problem. We have all of our extension wires here, and then these are the lights here. And I'm just going to show you how I'm going to put this in the fuse box now, run power, and then we'll get everything sorted and go from there. So with these two connected, fuse that came out of the fuse box now installed into the add-on fuse here. So we have our fuse for the cigar lighter here, and then the fuse that's going to be for the lights just here. And we're going to take this and install this into the car now. As you can see, I have the add-on fuse with the pigtail coming off there. And if you do own a Z, there is a bolt just above the fuse box that is a bracket to hold some connectors in place. The bolt coming off of that should be a good location to ground out the power for the lights. So I'm just going to use that. It's nice and out of the way, shouldn't be messed with, and we'll keep everything pretty nice and tidy down here. And then once we got the power routed, I'm just going to take the wire that's coming off of that, plug it into our control box here, plug it into one of the lights, and then after that, I'm just going to take the keys. As you can hear, the key is in, and then I'm just going to flip into the accessory position and the lights should turn on. And it looks like our power should be good. The light is turning on there. So we are just going to move forward with installing one strip under this side and one strip under that side. So now I'm in the Z. I just took the tombstone off as well as the shifter bezel. I'm just gonna be hiding the box behind the tombstone, probably underneath the radio. And I'm gonna show you how I route wires through the dash. I actually just use some solid core wiring. Solid core meaning it doesn't have strands on the inside of the wire, so it is just solid copper all the way through. Why that's important is because this stuff, when you do bend it, it holds its shape, so you can wrap it around the wire and then pull it through the dash, and it's a lot easier than trying to snake it with your hands or using string or something like that. You can also use a coat hanger if you don't have wire laying around, or something else that will flex and bend how you need it and be able to pull the wire through the dash and be relatively small. So I'm just going to show you how I do that now. So to start, we're just going to take that wire that I mentioned before, and we're going to route it through this side of the cubby here, just because that is closest to where the power is coming from. It's going to come through this side here. Just going to stick that wire down in there, find out where it comes out, and then pull our wire through so we can get power to the unit. As you can see, the wire just popped out down here underneath the dash. I just wrapped the solid core wiring around the wire that we're trying to pull through. And then after that, I'm just going to zip tie up the loose wire to tighten it up and keep it out of the way. So now I just have the wire plugged into the box here, and I have all the wires kind of just wrapped up. And then we have our connections for the LED strips here, and I'm just going to route these to each of the footwells now to get the LEDs ready to mount it up, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to mount those up now. So I'm in the passenger footwell now. We have the wire pulled from here using the same method I showed before, using the solid core wiring, and then I have that connected to our LED strip here. And then up above, as you can see, I just have these clips screwed into the plastic underneath the dash. These are included with the kit, and I am just going to take a zip tie through each of the clips and use that to hold the LED strip in place. I don't trust the one-time adhesive on the back of the LED strips, especially in the summer. The heat might melt the adhesive and make it fall off, so I'm just going to use zip ties to secure it in place. And moving back under the dash, we can see that the LEDs are installed using the zip ties, and it can't be seen as soon as you are out from underneath the dash. So now I'm just going to replicate something similar on the driver's side over there. And just like I did for the passenger side, I just have 3 brackets up on top with the wire coming out of this side and going up into the dash. And as you can see, I have the fuse panel cover back on, and when you are not underneath the dash, you can't even see the light. Now that we have all that taken care of, I'm just going to put together all the trim pieces back now. And with everything put back together, the last thing to do is to finally test it, see how it looks, and see if we like it. And now that everything's put back together, I'm just going to put the key in, and we're going to see how this looks. And this is going to be the result. As you can see, it's a pretty nice glow in the footwell area. Using the remote that we have here, we could change it to many different colors. What you're seeing now is going to be the full brightness, and we can actually dim it down to be a lot more subtle. And then we even have effects on the right side here if you want to do something like that. So you could have a cycle through the colors, fade, go to this music, strobe, and yeah, looks like that's everything. And then this is just going to be the view from the back. As you can see, both footwells are in sync and provide a nice glow. So that's pretty much going to wrap up this quick and easy install. Again, just the OPT7 Aura LED interior lighting. If you noticed in the kit, it did include 4 strips, and I only used 2 because I do have a coupe. Until I can figure out where I want to put those other 2 strips, I'm just going to leave it just with the 2 strips for now. Also, you did see me install with using 3 brackets. I just want to mention that the kit does only include 8, so if you do plan on installing all 4 strips, you are going to want to only use 2 brackets per strip. So yeah. And if you do have a sedan or something with rear seating, I would recommend just putting it underneath the driver and passenger seat to glow into the back of the rear compartment area. I can throw in my old car. It had that done on the rear, and I can show you what that effect looks like. That's going to wrap up this video today. If you like to, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. If you want to see any more, be sure to be subscribed. I should have time this weekend to do the engine mount install. Otherwise, that wraps this video up. So thank you.